All right.
All right.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. What have I brought us today? So I don't know if you've seen this, but I've been working on this yesterday and today. Refining it today. This is my blog. Here, see here down here. We
Yep.
now track modified files, and I
Cool.
added a revert all button.
Cool.
Okay, so watch if I say create a new file called hello Bing. All right, do this. Okay, so blah blah blah. I should create two files. We see that MISC is already. I guess that's still not really. So now I can see okay, two files, and I click revert all.
Yep.
Boom, and it reverted the changes. So MISC is now restored. It doesn't do patch-wise restoration. So it doesn't do if one agent adds something at the top and the other agent does something at the bottom. It's truly just restoring stuff right now. Okay.
So
But what
this
I
is
thought
this
we
is like checkpointing then, or is it something else?
I basically wrap every file invocation in like a backup checkpoint, whatever you want to call it. So every tool that
Uh,
modifies something, I can now restore. Like I
cool.
have it's not efficient. I stored it before and after and the diff, but so I could now show you here, like the diff when I hover over stuff, right? And I could even go back versions or something.
Oh, that's cool.
But I don't know yet what that should look like in the UI, and I don't know what the thing is, but I built this for my use case, which was sometimes I have the agent do something. I'm like, nah, throw everything away, but don't touch anything else. Like just the stuff that you did, throw this away. So
Yeah.
that's why I
Yeah.
built a revert all button. But I think what we could do now is we could try and use it to add a revert button for a single file, which would then give us more,
Oh, that's
you know.
cool.
So
And and can you do that? Can you let me like if I hover over a diff, like let's say I want to revert to a file at this change. Because like oftentimes you
yeah,
have it make multiple changes to a file in the course of a
yeah.
thread. You could say like, oh, I want like this version, like before it applied this patch. Like that's the one I
Yeah,
want.
I think we
Cool.
could do that. Yeah.
Cool.
The pieces are not connected. Like these are the tool uses and this is like a separate thing, but I do have the ID. So technically I could say, for this tool use, check if we have a file change for this with this ID, and then we add an undo button,
Yep.
and then it should the what I'm still exploring is the data model as in, you know, okay, one tool use could theoretically change multiple files. Yes, terminal is like a wild card.
Yeah.
So I'm doing this step by step and kind of exploring. So I think what we can try now is we just add like a revert button for like a single file and then see how far we get and then what we can do next. But I think that
Cool.
also what I want to have is the control center for multiple agents. And I think what I
Mm.
always want to know is, you know, you notice you start this, it goes off, you have your sound on, then you do something else and it says bing,
Yeah.
your thing is finished. And then you go back and then you will see what did it do. And I found it already useful to have like this small overview of, oh, I changed these files. So I can see did it go off the rails or not.
Cool.
So yeah, that's kind of in the back of my head too, that I kind of want like, the an overview of which files it touched and then to be able to kind of manage that. Okay,
Got
so
it. And is this
let's
all in
try
like the
this.
thread? I forget what the class is called, but like the
Thread
thread
worker.
thread worker.
Yeah, it's all in there. So it's
Okay,
all
cool.
here. Backups, like it's called backups, which is I don't know if that's yeah, I don't know if
That
that's
makes
a good
sense.
name.
No, that's a good
Yeah.
name.
And then I abstracted everything. It's all in. Also, by the way, I can do this if we record video. Let's do this. Sorry, larger text. There we
Oh,
go.
nice. Yeah, that's better.
Um, so file tracking. It's all in this folder, and it's basically these abstractions where you can restore file changes from backups when you start it. This is all local on disk. We don't sync this.
Yep.
We could. file system is abstracted for this purpose. So VS Code and Node implement their own file system. And then this is, I didn't want to call it a factory, but this function is a factory because it returns a closure, right? And in that closure, I'll show you. So if I go and edit file node, when you
Uh-huh.
want to edit a file, you say track a file change, and then you
Yeah.
pass the file name in, and then it tracks like changes to that file and stores the before and after and whatnot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah. So what we could do is we can go in what's it called? The prompt editor here.
Mm-hmm.
File change summary. And now we can say, oh, there's like a diagnostic even. Why is that? That's interesting. So let's do this first. Fix the diagnostics in file change summary. I
Yep.
showed this earlier to Vincent and he's like, oh, that's nice. I haven't seen this. I'm like, you haven't? You haven't tried the diagnostics, dude? And he's like, no. I'm like, yeah.
Like he's not
So
seen it as a user. That's kind of surprising.
it's yeah, I think he uses Vim. So
Oh,
this we could also do. We can style this. I added the format file thing, added it to the memory. So now it
yep.
formats the file, which is sweet. So we can also
Yep.
style. We can maybe do this as warm up. And then here, yeah, so you can see it in action. There's still some, I don't know why that is like this.
It's being chopped off.
Yeah, the funny thing is, if I open Storybook, it doesn't happen here. Look.
Huh.
Like it shortens it. So I think there might be some CSS stuff with max width or something, but
Yeah, that's weird.
I'm putting it on the list. Chopped up file names. Okay, so blah blah blah, fix the diagnostic. Let's make a commit, push to main, YOLO. Let's check the build first here.
Nice.
Why was this committed? That's weird. But yeah. Water under the main, they say, you know.
If
So
it's in Maine, you gotta deal with it.
yeah, yeah. Fix unused function, whatever. All right, let's see if we can push this. We can push this. Can we? Yes. All right. So next up, let's style this. Mm, 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 Okay, so here's how I would do it. So I would go and create a new thread, and I'm gonna say, our we have a new tool called format file, but it doesn't have see tool use welt. There you go, and I think what's it
Nice.
called? What's it called? Generic tool use.
It's funny seeing you use the at mention menu because most of the time I just fall back and say, just like provide the file name, and that's typically good
Oh,
enough.
you
But I guess
put
this is
the
more
base name?
precise. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So if you do this, it adds it to the context, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So here, tool use welt. There you go.
yeah.
So here, web source lib components thread steps tool use welt. Other
Nice.
components have their own components, right? You don't have to fix the typos, but someday they
We're
might
gonna get
know who
spell
made
check.
typos. Yes, they're like, we'll spare you, human.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like a
Um,
spell checking circuit uh in
yeah, yeah. It's just
in
how
the
you say
models.
please and thanks.
Right, right.
Right now the format file looks like the screenshot here, right? So I attach the screenshot.
Uh-huh.
So let's do this. Add add the file format component to what do we do here? Yeah, okay, we do it the other way. We say create a new component for format file tool call, use a
Yeah,
paintbrush or something as I can. Then add it to the tool use store. No, what's it called? Tool and the tool call story. Tool call story. There you go. Open the story at to confirm what it looks like. See, now it's in the
Did you mean to say
context.
other tools have their own components above?
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Probably figure it out
It'll
anyways.
maybe maybe it matters. It goes off the rails immediately. Yeah.
The
What do you
components have
mean other
components.
component?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fool.
Yeah. You should be precise with your language. You told me to. Uh, let's see. Have you used the audio stuff yet?
Yeah, I
It
have it turned on.
it
It's really helpful because I
it's
often have more
crazy
than
how
yeah.
helpful it is.
No, it's
I
great.
had it I had it off and it's just you go and do something else and bing, your
Yeah.
thing is ready and you go back. It's I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's like being in the
Think
kitchen, you got like the
yes.
egg timer or the oven timer. You're like, all right,
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
attend to that.
Yeah, we should have a proper microwave sound here so people
Yeah.
ding.
Like a really retro
Yeah,
microwave.
really retro. There you go.
Your code
So
is
does
ready.
it scroll? Fail to execute query selector. Let's try another approach. And this is so I had a conversation before we hopped on this call, and I think one of the things that blows my mind with these models is, and what people don't understand is, you could take Claude 3.7 and give it a single tool and say, here's how you run terminal commands.
Yeah.
And then you could, there you go. So there you go. It has a paintbrush. File not found. I
Nice.
don't know. Oh, it has, yeah, it does this. And you could take Claude 3.7, give
Yeah.
it just terminals or bash, and then you say restart Nginx for me or something like this, or
Yeah.
restart Apache, and
Yeah.
it will go etc. Whatever. I don't know. Showing my age here. Blah blah blah. Init Nginx start restart or something, right? And it will
Yeah.
say it's oh this is a system D thing, and then there's like syscontrol blah blah blah, and it's like
Yeah.
oh this is also not it, and then it will go ps grab Nginx,
Yep.
figure the PID, go to /proc, see the binary
Yep.
location, and figure this out. And people don't see the implications of this. Like they don't
Yeah.
see that I could call my server, right, and say restart
Yeah.
Nginx, and it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It
And it's crazy. I think like you really have to be intentional about discovering these feedback loops. Like for
yeah,
instance, like we're in a feedback loop right now where you've set it up with Puppeteer to iterate against
yes,
Storybook. And I think what happens is like if you're not intentional about it, people will say like, oh, like make this edge to the UI. If you don't have Puppeteer set up, if you don't have Storybooks
yeah,
configured, like the feedback loop, it's sort of like, as a human, like the feedback loop would be longer too. It's just like way more obvious
yeah,
when you're watching the bot do it because now you're kind
yeah,
of like one step removed and you're like, you idiot. Why wouldn't you just like, create the fast feedback
yeah,
loop first? That's what that's
yeah,
what a smart human developer would do.
yes,
Um,
yes.
so
There you go.
yeah, this is cooking.
So now it's zoomed in, right? It found exact thing scroll. Sorry, not zoomed. It scrolled to the exact location.
Yeah.
So now we can say, watch this. We can say, nice, dude. Uh, look at edit file tool use to see how we can make the diff look nice.
Yeah.
Because I know that in that component we show that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and let's open this. To your point, the feedback loop, what I keep coming back to is you as a human also cannot one-shot a 300 line file. And
Yeah.
and it sounds dumb, but yes, the expectations are so high. AI is so smart, it can do a lot of stuff. But I think it's super smart in a different way. And it's if you have it write 300 lines of code and
Yeah.
give it feedback, give it squiggly lines, give it
Yeah.
compiler errors, it can work itself through this. But it's this.
Yeah.
I think of it as you put the little card on the rails and then it goes and kind of overcomes the
Yeah.
obstacles. But
Yeah.
you need to set it. There you go. Look. That's
Boom.
correct.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's kind of
God.
like the AI writes code, similarly to as a human would. Like you don't just one shot it and expect it to work.
Yes.
You
Yes.
you you run the code, you see how it looks, and then you make
Yes.
adjustments.
Yes. And it's there's so much. Um, Look at this. This looks good. And I mean, we've been chatting. 3 files, one created, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's still cutting this stuff off. We can do a little code review. So, blah blah blah. It formats this all. I know that this is correct because I've done other stuff. This is in the storybook. So this, by the way, this side note for everybody who might watch. If nobody watches this, this is just recorded into the void. But
Yeah.
my thesis is if string escaping wasn't a thing, developer productivity would go up by 20% worldwide. I'm serious. It's
Yeah.
such a sticky tar pit.
Yes.
And look, so this is the storybook, and obviously to make this realistic, we need a diff in it. And okay,
Yeah.
maybe you could have copy pasted this, but you know how much time I spent in the past to
Yeah.
put a proper diff escaped as a string into this, and now
Yeah.
the AI does it for me.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a
so
context switch. It's like a mini game you have to play. And
yes,
like
it's a mini
all the
game.
different
Yes,
variations of string escaping across different languages. You're like, oh,
yes,
this one does kind of like,
yes. And
Java
then you're
style, but
like, yes, it's Node, but it's also in JSON. I
yeah.
mean, this is easy, right? But it's in JSON, and so it's in JavaScript and blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's look at this. So we can format file tool svelte, strip file names from header. I mean, this is duplicated. Is it something we need to worry about? I don't know. Derive diff stats. There's diagnostics. Check the diagnostics in format file tool. So let's have it fix this. Why? What do they say? Property deleted does not exist on this type.
Huh.
Does it think that this is not Svelte 5? That's, I think that's one of the big challenges we have to solve. This, when do you give a tool feedback about its change? And
Mm.
it's not that easy. And people say just inject the diagnostics. But me,
Yeah.
empathetic with the AI, and also knowing that how many people say, oh, cannot use this editor at all those squiggly lines, and every time I type stuff pops up. And i
Yeah. Yeah.
i think that's a thing for the models too. You cannot just constantly throw stuff in the context window and say like, oh, you just edited this and here's the errors, because then you might you know take it off the rails.
Yeah.
You want to time it right. You want to
Yeah.
time it right when you give it feedback. I think now, did it go off the rails, or is this, oh boy, what is going on? Remember, this is Svelte 5. There you go.
It's a little nudge.
Yeah, I'll fix the component using Svelte 5 activities. This is what somebody would reply in a code review when they think 10 minutes. Like, they're pissed off that you
Right.
called them out on something, and they're like, what's the most polite thing I can say? I fixed this using this.
I think this is one of those things where it's kind of weird. Like these small nudges actually can make a big difference. And
Yeah.
folks who like try it out for the first time, like some people have a bad experience. A lot of the failure modes fall into this case where it's like there's so much baked into the model's memory that
Oh,
what
I see
happened?
what. Typo is not assigned, but one error remained. Let's fix it. This error might be related. Let's take a closer look. Look, this is just like a human would do it, right? So here it
Yeah,
grabs for this, and it looks basically how the file path is used in other components. It grabs for this, and how smart is this that it uses the opening, bracket here?
yeah, yeah. That's a good search.
Let's check for diagnostics by checking our conditional. Oh. Yep, yep. Let's check the diagnostics one more time. There. Oh boy, you're off the rails. Derived by. What's the error here? I don't get it. Now it has it? No, it hasn't. Derive type of tool use input. Oh, I see. I see. Okay, I think I know what it is. This
Well, it
is
fixed
it's
the
funny.
diagnostics.
Yeah, it did, and it still works. Right, here's a shot. Um, looks correct. Yes, yes, yes. You did all correctly. I think the problem is it says here tool use props, but if you look at another component, we need to use like the non or the this version.
Yeah.
So I think let's try it again. Like, I mean, we're getting up to 64K tokens. I don't know. I
You
don't
were
know.
saying that in your experience, once it hits 70, it starts to get a little iffy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 70 is like the 3 beers of the AI model. It's where you I feel like
So
you
pass
shouldn't
the ball or
drive
peak.
to
What's
yeah, you should yeah, exactly. You
yeah.
shouldn't drive anymore, dude. Just call a
If
taxi,
you got
man.
no context, that's not good. But too much
Yeah,
context, also
yeah,
not good. You
yeah,
gotta like optimize for
yeah.
that peak.
I'm always watching this needle, and it's like if it's over 150 and it does something wrong, like dude, no wonder we're at
Yeah.
150.
Go home, AI.
Yeah, go
You've had
home.
enough for the day.
You've had
New
enough.
thread.
New yeah. So what I okay, so let's do this. I think you need to use the format file tool dev in the props destructuring of the component. And this is again like somebody might say you could do this faster, and I could, but I don't know. I don't know. Like you start typing stuff and then it's like, okay, you have,
Yeah.
type errors, you need to import this, and then you use like the code actions and all of that. And yes, that gives you
Yeah.
speed up, but it's just I don't know. I don't know. I I think people underestimate how much toil there is and how much context switch you have to go. Like you said, the mini games. You want to
Oh, for
move one
sure.
function to a different file, and suddenly, oh, I also need to pull this constant over.
Yeah.
Now, oh, do I need to export this and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Look at edit file tool use again as example, and then use that. Use the format file tool. Let's see if it gets it. So what I wanted to do is use the proper type here, so then it doesn't have to do the tool status this and this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, also it should use the calculate edit file diff stat. I mean, no, we don't have. That's a different format. It's a different format. Yeah. Okay, so does it do it? Okay, does it do it? And then okay, do
What are we trying to
you?
do here is just like the rendering of the diff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You want to make it render like it's rendering in this component.
Well, here it doesn't have the diff stats already, and it calculates it using this helper function. Here we have our own calculation, and
Yeah.
wondering, do we have to do this? But I think this works differently. This doesn't actually use the output diff; it uses the old and new string, which is I
Hmm.
don't know. But basically here, what I want, okay, it fixed it. So yeah, so now it can do this. It doesn't have to do the type off and like, is it
Yeah.
this? So now we can say, okay, use derived by um, to clean up that long expression there. And yeah, and you also don't have to use the type of to run result string thing. And I think Simon Willison wrote about this that um, some stuff you can have, but people also underestimate how many typos and like little things. And if you don't have to correct your typos and the computer still gets it, it's a
Yeah.
different if it's a different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this I mean this too like here we have a great feedback loop. We can it's zoomed in on this. It go scroll back in the video, like this didn't look like anything at all. So now it has like 3 error cases.
Yep.
Error case, successful case, running case. It saw this in the storybook. It's one file basically, so that's perfect. And now you could go crazy and say, make this look super nice, give it a shadow, and it will go
Yeah.
and use all its Tailwind knowledge, and it's all contained in this, and I don't know, saves me a bunch of time.
Yeah.
Like I've never done that much front end. Okay, so
Yeah.
this now I think looks good. Is running, derived by action, formatted diff, markdown, strip file and formatted. Oh, it uses these other, yeah, these other things. So yeah, I mean that's also the thing.
Can you
This
show
is
it in the
what is it?
storybook? So
Yeah, yeah.
take a look.
Here, so it's this.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. Paintbrush.
Sweet.
Okay, so then
That
let's
was easy.
ship. That was easy.
How
Oh
many lines of
no,
code did huh?
yeah. Let's see. Let's see. So if we, oh, there you go. It doesn't do. Here, they. I'm not doing this by hand. Format all my files.
Hey, I'm gonna take a
Change.
quick bathroom break real
Yeah.
quick. I'll be right
All
back.
right. All right. Format file. All right.
All right, sorry about that. Been chugging
No
water.
worries. No worries.
Trying to get over this cold.
Yeah, while you were gonna friend message me, we had like a thing planned for Saturday. He's like, I'm out. I have to take antibiotics. I'm out. So
Oh,
everybody's like,
something's going around for
yeah.
sure. You know what never
Well,
gets sick though? AI.
it doesn't. Sick of me maybe, but not yet. Okay, so formatting file works. We can, I mean, we can test this, right? We can say, oh, I don't have a formatter here. Uh, 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 how do we test this? Oh yeah, I know. So we go and open temp go project, and then we go in here, save without formatting. There you go. And then we say format the main.go file. There you go. I'll format it. Okay, there you go. Look at this. That's what it looks like.
Nice.
So file name,
This is awesome.
clickable, does all of this. That's cool.
How does the format thing work? Is it like the AI formatting it, or does it use like a formatting tool?
It's pretty, so previously we had, whenever it would edit a file, we would do the formatting automatically using VS Code. So
Yeah.
VS Code's formatting action. And the problem is it confuses the AI because the AI reads a
Mm.
file, then does an edit, and then thinks its edit has been successfully
Uh,
applied. So that's what the file now looks like. But if you
yeah.
then indent it,
Yeah.
it then goes off the rails. So we made it a separate thing because I want to test whether when it calls format explicitly and we return the diff, right? This
Hmm.
thing we send back,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it updates its model better. Like
Yeah.
maybe it's trained better for this, but who knows?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the format file is pretty, yeah, there you go. That's a little bit hacky. And
Boom.
also the tab size insert spaces. I don't know if we should keep this. I mean, execute command excellent format. I mean, maybe here. Can we change this command here to use VS Code's APIs to check whether there is a what's it called? Format document provider.
Yeah.
And if so, use it instead of hard coding go svelte TypeScript. And then I don't think it knows which file I'm in. Yep. Okay, let's see. Pretty confident. Execute has formatting provider command. Is that a real thing?
Uh,
That's not bad. That's good though. I think that works. I think that's real. Right? It gets the editor config for the given
yeah.
scope, gets the tab size.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
See, like I wouldn't even have known to look for this.
What do you mean?
I
The
didn't
config
realize that there
stuff?
was a way to get this stuff from the configuration. Although, I mean, now that I think about it, like all of it is configurable.
Yeah. So we could also this we also need to track this change, right? Because it also um changes the file. But the question is, does it work? So if we try this out, and now we again go in here and we do this, say save without formatting, and I don't know, let's try this again. We can reuse the same thread. It does. It does. Interesting. So it works. We just one shot it. Okay, that's sweet. So that means
Nice.
okay, if I have a JSON thing and I say save foobar.json and I say name Thorsten, I don't know. Oh, it's all. See this like strings, right? And you say
Yeah.
coding, whatever. Okay, so if I do this and I save without formatting, and then I say format the foobar file,
Yep.
does it also do it? It works. Like
Nice.
it was, I mean,
Boom.
well, add some more funny data to foobar chasing. Big thing that AI is helpful with generating test data. Like it's
Yeah.
just
It's great
even
at that.
just for this, it's really good.
Oh, look at your hobbies. Juggling
Juggling
chainsaws,
chainsaw, extreme ironing,
competitive
incredible.
napping.
Okay, now format the file. There you go.
Nice.
So we did it. We did it.
Wow.
We fixed formatting for live on record.
Boom.
Can debug code by staring at it. That's not my superpower. One of my simplest. You know, miss extreme ironing. All right. Okay. So let's do one more. So now we do. I'm gonna start. I don't know what your intuition is when starting a new thread or when not, but I try to.
I feel like
I d-
I start new I'm surprised at how long this session got. Like I usually
oh really?
I should I actually I you know what I don't have that bar at the bottom enabled. I should enable that so I can
Oh,
kind of
the
keep
the
track
token.
because
Yeah.
I'm always paranoid that it's like filling up the context. I'm like, oh, maybe it's time to new
Yeah.
thread.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I feel
here,
like
this is.
I feel like part of me is still trained on like Gen 1 AI where it's like, oh, like yeah, I've almost certainly filled up the context window now. Let me
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I recorded a video like an hour ago, right? Posted in Slack where it said, it's crazy how big the context windows are right now. I mean, Claude 3.7, 200K tokens,
Yeah.
Gemini 2.5, a million.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it the first Claude that came out, what was it, like
It was,
10,000?
yeah, it was like
Yeah,
eight, I think. That was the
yeah,
standard, 8,192
yeah,
or something like that.
yes. And now it's 200,000.
Yeah,
And
it's
people,
incredible.
I dropped a whole PDF in Gemini yesterday, like of a book, a Rayleigh book, and I asked it about stuff. It was mind blowing. So
It's insane.
here, me track file changes in the format file tool here. So I'm gonna say format file VS Code. Look at how we track changes in edit file, no VS Code, edit, create file VS Code, and edit file node. Let's see. So if it tracks this, we could then undo, formatting, or at least have backups and whatnot.
Yeah.
There you go. That's already correct. Already nailing it, editing it more. That looks correctish. Should. Oh, there's. Oh, it formatted the file, see, and then it wanted to edit it again. And then. So this is an
It failed,
error.
right?
It failed. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. So now then it reads it again.
Mm.
Yeah. I know what this is. Let me write this up. This is a bug. Yeah, this is a bug. I'm the cause of this bug. So what is this? It's fixing the bug that I just mentioned, which is it figured it out. Oh my God, this is meta. So okay, so when Claude wants to edit a file, I keep track of when it last edited it, and if the user edited in the meantime, I said like the file has changed, update your,
Yeah.
your state of the world, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So while it was doing this, it ran into that bug because it formatted the file and the format file does not update the timestamp
Mm.
yet. So it ran into this and then fixed it while working on this, which is ambitious, I guess.
That's yeah, it's going above and
So
beyond.
yeah, now we have a bunch of okay, but check the
What's going on
diagnostic.
there?
Yeah. Check the diagnostics. I don't know what it did. Yeah, this looks wrong. I think it just barfed a bunch of stuff in there.
What's the purpose of the inline import here? Is it just because
Um it's these are dynamically imported, these tools, and if you don't, I don't know. I think in
uh
this case we could get rid of them, I think, because it's only imported in VS Code, so we could get away with it without it, I think.
gotcha.
Okay, okay. Fix all the issues. The format file is now boom. And you don't hear this on the recording, but I get the sound every time.
Nice. A
So
little
here it
sonar
fixes the
sound.
bug. Yeah, it fixes the bug that we mentioned. Here it modified stuff. So now let's update the file modification after our visit. Okay. Let's try debug restart. Let's try this again. And now we start a new thread and we say, so what we want to test is that we can revert it, right? So here I'm
Mm-hmm.
now indenting this and I say save without formatting and now say format the foobar file.
Mm-hmm.
So now it should show up. Boom, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And now we say revert. Boom, and it's back. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Pretty good. Okay, so but I do want to double check on the modification stuff here. Set file mod because in edit file node read file record edit. What does record edit do? Get hashed file. Oh, this is undo. This is undo. Yes, I'll put this on there. We don't have to do this now, but consolidate, undo, edit, and backups. So undo edit is a thing that I saw that others have where every edit you make a backup and then you can say undo this last edit and then it can undo this. But if this
Yeah.
thing that I'm working on is feasible, then we can rip this out, I think. Then we don't have to. I mean, we can implement it in a different way, I think.
Right. Right.
Um, so here we record the edit. Okay, sweet. Then we say read file connects, update the modification time after our visit. New stat. Where does it get the new stat? So it does the set file mod. I think that's fine. And then in format file, we now, oops, in VS Code, we do this set file mod. We return this to track changes, which is correct. It also did. This is funny. So Oscar added like a thing where we can track files that have been modified to keep like he keeps track of all the files that we changed so we can get diagnostics for them or keep track of
Yeah.
the diagnostics.
Yeah.
And I've seen this now 2 or 3 times where the agent notices in other components that it should keep track of the files it changed and it updates the component to do this because we
Hmm.
forgot to do it. And it's, I don't know, it's certainly interesting.
Interesting.
Um, edit success, apply edit, doc save, track file change. If okay, but let's do this. Uh, uh, um, I think it's fine. Maybe I don't know. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, let's do this. So we can now make format file revertible. Okay. Also, let me close the door. Otherwise, the kids come in. Okay, so now we don't have that much time left, but let's try this. So what I want to do is, first of all, find me the commit that introduced a revert functionality to thread worker TS. Because I can
Nice.
never remember how to
Yeah. This would be like
uh,
another mini game. It'd be like git log slash dash
yeah, there you
p
go.
and then
See
like
this
searches.
stuff. Yeah. Add revert all button. There you go. That's the one. So now
Wow,
what
that
is
was
it?
fast.
Add revert all. That's the one. All right. So now I'm going to open a new thread again. I say, look at this. I now want to add the ability to revert changes for a single specific file. In the UI, I let me use a screenshot again. So we go here. In the UI, I want to have a revert button that appears when you hover over a file name and it shows up instead of the diff stat. When clicked, it reverts the single file to its earliest state of this thread. Let's see. Oh, it looks at the commit. Right. Search symbols. That's interesting. That's interesting. It uses Quinn's repo map, I think, that he built with Tree Sitter. And I don't know what changed, but I've seen it used twice today, which is interesting.
This is the pre-grok stuff.
No, I don't think so. I think the pre-croc stuff is it creates like a memory file and whatnot.
Yeah.
But he has like a tree map that is like the Ada tree map where it walks a lot of files and
Yeah.
puts the symbols and whatnot. And I think that's
Yeah.
this.
Ah, I see.
So in this, it's, I don't know, it's finding a lot of stuff. Let's look at the file change. So one thing that I want us to build, and I put it on the list, I don't know when I'll get to it, is Others have like agent or sorry, architect or planner agents where basically everything we just saw,
Yeah.
it would ask another agent. It would say, come up with the steps for me to implement this.
Yeah.
And that way it wouldn't pollute the main context window.
Mm,
Meaning, if there's dead ends, it doesn't show up in the main context window.
yeah. Yeah.
So this revert single file change, I see. So that's a lot of duplicated code, which is fine. Like, so we just to follow along what it's doing. So we do have revert. We have revert all file changes, which is this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it now added this result type back. It kind of loves that. Oh, because it sees this in the commit and I removed. Interesting. So it only saw the commit and I removed it afterwards. That's fine. But obviously you kind of want, you have a file called your function called revert all file changes, and you have called one called revert single. You kind of
Yep.
want them to share some logic.
Yep. Yep.
So what I would have done is, Kent back style, make the change easy and then make the change, meaning I might have changed the all thing to be just a version of calling revert file on multiple files or something.
Right.
Um, Obviously, it's no Kent back. If Kent is watching this,
I mean, you could
but
still instruct it to do the thing
yeah, I think yeah. But it's this.
the way.
It's again like, how much do you spell it out? Like how much?
Right. How much
One
steering?
weird, yeah. One weird thing is, I talked with Quinn about it this morning. Is it's like a strange way to program, because while you're doing this, you realize how much implicit knowledge you have,
Yeah.
and sometimes you would start typing and then like 5 minutes in you realize, oh, it's actually harder than I thought it would be. And
Yeah.
then you go back to your PM and say it takes 3 days, not one, or something. And here it's this, oh, it goes off the rails because I forgot to mention it's actually harder. Let's go back up and update the prompt.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is why
but
this
it's
feature
just,
would be useful, right? Like you go revert back to a previous state
yes,
and
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
like continue the thread from that point.
Yeah, yeah, that would be, yeah, we could implement this. We could say go back to here and then it deletes all of the messages or everything else below that.
Yeah, I feel like when in my longer threads too, sometimes what happens is at some point it goes off the rails, and then you like when you come back to see what it did, it was like fine
Yeah.
until like a certain point, and then it would be really nice to just say like restart
Yes.
from here, but in this
Yeah.
direction.
Yes. I think, would you want to restart from a message that you sent or from an arbitrary location in the thread?
I think arbitrary location because sometimes it makes like multiple edits in succession,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, like this, it was good up until this point.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But then again, it's like, sometimes it just makes like, what if it just makes one edit that's like problematic? I guess you get it would also be nice to just like point revert like specific edits, but keep
Yeah.
the rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 The thing, what I still haven't solved with this is, I think these models become super powerful if they see what you see. And I think if you go and you kind of pull the rug from under it and say, I reverted this file, but you don't tell the model about it,
Yeah.
and then you try to continue that conversation, it's a bit weird. It's,
Yeah. Yeah.
I moved your chair, take a seat, dude. And then, falls down. And
Yeah.
I wonder with stuff like this, where if you revert a file, should we maybe put something like a pending message, like how on iOS, when you update your home screen, it's kind of jiggling around, it's not permanent. Like something like this
Yeah.
where you can then say, yes, I want to let the model know that I just reverted everything and it should
Yeah.
know about this. But I don't know. That's kind of what I want. This like,
That's an
yeah,
interesting
mod,
thought.
yeah. I that some UI actions kind of give you like a, so you know how in Gmail they have like
Yeah.
this dumb suggest, yeah, something like this where it's
Yep.
like,
Yep.
You reverted files, and then here it suggests you want to tell the model about what you just did. You want to let it know that you
You
just,
want to tell
yeah.
it?
Yeah. So here, let's try this. If this works, we're fucking right on time. Sorry for the, but it's just, this would be impressive. But
Let's
maybe,
do it.
let's see. Okay, here we are. What do we say? We say, create a new file called main.test and fix the diagnostics in main.go. I don't know. I just want 2 changes so I can revert 1. I could not import. Ugh, okay. What is this? Okay. Oh, it fixed it. That's cool. Now I'll create this. Okay. There you go. It added buttons. They are invasive. We would need to tweak this. But let's revert
And
main test. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Oh my god.
uh
Too easy. Reverted file. It even logs this, but it doesn't do it. Is deleted false. Why? Doesn't do it. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we can record. Like, this is gonna take. Now, if it gets wrong, it's this. Also, I get. It just told me battery low. Let me see. It doesn't. Okay, here's what we can do. 69K tokens. It doesn't work. I see the log message in the console, but the file is not reverted. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it does this. There might be an issue in the core implementation. Okay, let me switch headphones. They're off.
cool.
Does Zoom switch? It does. What is this?
Oh, weird.
But
Oh
our
no, it's
tests were
just
missing it.
no. Nah, it
That's
seems
not it.
sus.
No, that's not it. I mean here, tool use ID, an unused variable. That seems weird. No, reverted. If this create file change, mark all. This reverted. This is not. This is weird. So what does it do? It finds the earliest version. Okay, sweet. And then it says, oh, this version has this. If no, blah, blah, blah. Earliest changes to this. Mark all changes to this file. Okay, so here, this is also good use. Skip already. Let's check if our method is called correctly. I don't think it is. Or maybe it is. Mouse event. It's insane. I mean, did we see debug console here? Did it log? Does not exist. Where did does where's this log? Does not exist. Here, VS Code. File exists. Okay. Let's remove this. We made several important fixes. That sounds confident. Okay, let's try it. Here. Revert it. It doesn't do it, does it? But it doesn't log anything. Yeah. Beyang, I gotta hop off. The kids are back.
All right,
This was
we
good
got
though.
pretty far. This
I
is
think we did. Yeah, I think we got some good stuff.
yeah, this is great. It's also funny doing this because it's like we're pair programming, but it's really like it's like a
Yeah,
3 try
yeah, yeah,
programming because we're
yeah.
essentially just watching it write the code and then like nudging it.
Yeah,
along the way.
it's funny because it gives you these moments to reflect and talk about stuff and fill in context while it's
Yeah,
doing some stuff.
yeah,
And it's not that boring because people, if somebody, I don't know, I have never watched it, but if somebody watches it, they can see the stuff scroll through.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's
maybe
pretty
that's
cool.
something for the Gen Z. You know, they don't have to watch like 3 videos at once. They can see the AI do stuff while others talk.
Right. All right.
All
This is a
right.
lot of fun. Let's do
All
another
right.
one soon.
Let's do it. Yeah, yeah. Let's do
All
it.
right.
All right, man. Bye bye.
See ya.